Focus on the Nigerian economy. We see the bigger
So
picture.
always make this mistake. Sorry, the ad will have
Business
to play.
Express
Sorry.
on Smooth 98.1.
It's into switch now.
Is it possible for someone to dash you a tier rubber SUV with free petrol for 1 year? Or for your boss to pay your salary 4 months in advance? Or for your landlord to give you 70% discount on your next rent? Is it even possible for a bus conductor to allow passengers enter without paying? Some things may be impossible, but on QuickTeller, everything is possible. Like shopping from over 100 international stores on QuickTeller Global Mall, paying your estate levy, toll gate fees, buying event tickets, funding your betting wallets, sending money, paying electricity bills, school fees, buying airtime, everything. Download the QuickTeller app or visit quickteller.com to make that payment now. QuickTeller, everyday payments made easy.
Business Express. Brought to you by EnterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.
That's right. Good morning, Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. We have Rotus in the studio ready for Business Express 91.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
Rotus.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Lagos and beyond.
Good morning to you.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Join the
indeed.
conversation by sending us messages on WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. We're live on YouTube. Type Smooth 91 FM Lagos. Subscribe and watch.
All
And
right,
of course,
all right.
you can send a message using that hashtag Business Express 91 on Twitter.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so shout out to InterSwitch. Made the news here. They are providing free technology to state, federal governments through their healthcare subsidiary eClat.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, indeed. So essentially, it's going to be a software platform that is going to provide what they're calling first-line intervention for the assessment of risk and predisposition to the novel coronavirus infection. So what it is, the platform is going to analyze user information provided from answers to a series of questions around, risk factors, recent exposure, observed symptoms, health, travel history, and this is going to, they're going to actually push this out to a number of states and local, state and the federal government. So it's, this is how tech is trying to do its part in helping out, giving information to people. So again, that's through InterSwitch and their subsidiary eClat Healthcare. There's a number of layoff news. Now this one I have to be careful with this because this is only being reported from one particular site. I don't know how many people read WeTracker. I think they're from South Africa, but they have an office here in Nigeria. They are saying that Opay has entered some trouble as a result of, one, the Okada ban, and two, the coronavirus. They're saying that they've had to lay off some staff, and they faced, they're saying it's up to 70% of their staff, including Chinese nationals and local employees. A massive layoff. Now, it's only coming from one source, all right, and it's been spreading around. So I really have to temper this, that this has not been confirmed. The company hasn't put out any statements confirming this. I mean, I'm going to get to Andela in a second. Andela is also facing layoffs and salary cuts, but that one, the CEO put out a letter, and everybody, that's one's been confirmed. But with this particular news coming out from Opay, it's not. But though the thing is, if you look at the WeTracker, mentioned the number of executives that it says are no longer with the company, have left to other firms. And if you look at the timeline, I guess looking at the issues that ride-hailing companies have had, I'll even get to Uber in a second. Uber had posted a loss that is almost as much as the money we got from the IMF. That was just a first quarter loss. So ride-hailing companies have been struggling. They've been struggling, but again, whenever only one side. Although I read WeTracker, they give a lot of they cover a lot of startups and technology across Africa, and they focus a lot on Africa. But I do have to, for any of you, because somebody asked me about this, and I took a look, and the thing has been spreading all over the place. So I don't know. It's only coming from one source. The thing is, Opay is substantially backed, by Chinese money. Yeah. And if you're backed by Chinese money, then
it just keeps flowing.
You don't really have to worry. Although they're saying that according to WeTracker here, that Operas, which is the company that covers Opay, Allride, and so on. Yahoo Zoo, they say who's been leading the company since 2016 when Opera was acquired for about $600 million by a consortium of Chinese investors. He's been running Opay himself since that time. Again, not quite confirmed. They did say they reached out to Opay to get further comments, but haven't gotten anything yet. But if you think about it, when you add the um, as far as now that's Opay is one, Opay and their payment services wealth, and then there's Allride on the other side with the Okada ban. That's how it's affected the that subsidiary of the company, that service. And then you think about the combination with the how the coronavirus has affected businesses. It looks like it makes sense, but because the company hasn't put anything out yet, I don't know. So if anyone hears this news, this is why we do the show for you guys. Do take this with a pinch of salt. Again, we're not seeing anything on Reuters, we're not seeing anything on the Wall Street Journal or Bloomberg. So until we see, unless they have an exclusive that nobody else has, so that's how in media here we have to walk that fine balance between verifying news that we come across and then also trying to give you news that is we're trying to be first, so you have to be careful in trying to be first. So again, we track out for a while. They've been credible, which is why I'm even talking about this. If this was on some weird blog, I wouldn't I wouldn't even have touched that. And please, by the way, anyway, you guys already know this. Our Business Express listeners, they're quite sophisticated people. Ignore all these weird, although once in a while these weird blogs they might pop up. Broken clock is right. Is it twice a day, or as they say? But do stick with confirmed sources whenever you hear these things. And please, anything you see out there, throw it at me, and I'll check. I've also reached out to some folks at Opay, so hopefully I'll be hearing back from them. But we'll see how things go. It's a trying time for a number of companies in the tech space. So Andela, theirs is confirmed. I think this was earlier this week. Jeremy Johnson, the CEO of Andela, made the announcement earlier this week. It was through a video conference call with regards to staff. They're laying off about 135 of their staff, about 10% of their company, across 4 of their locations, including Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, and Uganda. It says here that employees in Rwanda and Ghana are likely not to be affected. And this another thing, the engineering team is exempted. So it's other departments in Andela that are being affected. So if you think of, they're saying that look, they have to cut costs. That's just basically the gist of the story. Andela had to cut costs. If they want to bring in more funding, they have to, their valuations have to look, proper as far as their operations as well for investors, so that they can continue to be stay in operation. So, this I think I've reported layoffs and salary cuts almost every other day on the show now. It's almost every company is being affected. Let's see. So far, they've raised about $181 million in funding over 7 rounds. I think their last funding fund for Andela was $100 million Series D back in January of last year. Took the company valuation to between $600-700 million. But it's not easy, right? And this is not the first time, I believe, that they had to go through some layoffs. Back in, I think it was September of 2019, they had to let go of some junior engineers in Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria. So again, the employees though at Andela that are being let go, they are supposed to be off by the 8th, which is today actually. They're going to get severance packages and 4 months of health coverage. And then I understand that according to what this letter here, the remaining staff, including directors at the company, are going to be taking salary cuts ranging anywhere from 10% to 30%, depending on their level of seniority. So, customers have to do what they do. I would read the letter from Jeremy Johnson, but it's too long. So any of you who want to check out the story can go ahead and read this, read the letter.
The message came in past midnight for you.
Midnight, eh? Who sent that message at midnight?
Chika.
Chika, you burning the midnight oil. Go ahead.
Chika said, you mentioned expanding the tax net for Nigerians on Business Express. I think it's important to note that our lower working class already pay taxes. The market seller, the transporter, the hair maker already pay daily taxes due to the leadership in their industries. If the government is sincere and serious, they should look for how to break into the system and make these people their taxes count as proper taxes. No exceptional taxes, net wide or exceptional tax net widening
Is
is
required.
required for this.
Yeah, okay, so Business Day ran a story on that, and they investigated a chica. Thank you so much for the message. That money doesn't end up reaching uh, governments. Where a lot of these folks, the market stalls where they operate, there are these local, I don't know, quote unquote, chiefs, or I don't know what they call themselves, that collect money from them. That money never goes to government. So, okay, look, where is this story now? This is another tech story. Edo States, yeah, Governor Obaseki says he's looking at using mobile money in order to cushion the coronavirus crisis. Now, I talked about this on another part of the show where we're saying that this conditional cash transfers that the government is doing it's failing the initiative of financial inclusion, right? And it's failing the initiative of mobile money. Still is not hasn't taken off in Nigeria. Yeah,
Irresponsible government. I'm
Yeah.
not saying the government is irresponsible, but you might take your L from that. But a responsible government would use this as a golden opportunity to build up their database, like you always said. You said
Exactly.
it more than twice this
right,
week.
right.
Build up your database. This is data waiting for you to collect for free.
Yes,
So as you're distributing these funds, use these channels to see how you can get it.
exactly. So Obaseki he said that that the government, Edo State government, is collaborating with 4 telcos to create a social register to identify 125,000 people who need relief. He also said, now he's also makes where is that quote? Okay, we intend to create mobile wallets to be used in money transfers to support these people. This is why he was speaking at the first digital edition of the platform. Okay, everybody knows the platform, which was organized by the Covenant Christian Center. So this was the digital version. He said that on the platform. Now he's working as he wants to work with the telcos, in order to create these mobile wallets, get help to people. But if you use that within the context of tax collection and the informal economy, somebody has to do the work with regards to going out there and finding out who these people are, what they do, and then making sure that they pay taxes that get to state governments and so on and so forth. The monies that they are paying, those ones are, they're not reaching the state coffers or the government coffers. Those are just local arrangements by folks who need to eat and are setting up their own method of collection. So I don't know if you can call that a tax. Are they being extorted? Are they? I wouldn't classify it as a tax. But your message is well understood. Government has to do it. Valentine has already just said it now. Government does have to make that step. But if you look at what Obaseki is trying to do, work with the telcos. Again, the whole issue with telcos is that they feel, some feel that they're threats to the banks. I don't know why, they can collaborate or, if you look at the subscription numbers, MTN released their Q1 results. Subscriptions grew, although I think most of their revenue still came from voice calls, but data jumped, but still, point is, everybody else is doing mobile money. It's a run by the telcos. They've got the numbers. Collaborate with them and just make this thing happen, and I think that even for collecting information for tax payments and so on, you just have to do the work. Go out there and register register people, and then collect the taxes. So thank you for the message. Who's this?
Blessing sent us a screenshot of a text message, a WhatsApp message she sent an Opay staff to ask for the We Tracker story. If to confirm
she says
or
it's
not.
true.
And the person said it's true. Also, I was
Blessing, when I was asking see how sharp quickly she's acting. When I was asking her about her, she works at a certain company. She was fighting me. Anyway, I appreciate Blessing a lot. Blessing gives me a lot of information. Just how quick she moved. When it was her own company, she was Blessing, thank you for that. All right, yeah.
On YouTube, the Black Panther said, quick one. I just joined in. Are we going to see increase in a lot of services we use, even the telcos, since June 1st? There will be increase.
Yes.
MultiChoice sent out the text message yesterday.
Did you see the increase
I saw
in
I saw it.
They should continue. See, streaming services are rising. Their eye will clear very soon. But yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter listed the
tariffs.
the
So
increases.
7.5% VAT
Yep.
increase.
Well, look, look.
The
It's
text
a bus-
message actually read,
Yeah, go
"Dear
ahead.
customer, please be informed that effective June 1st, 2020, we'll implement the 7.5% VAT on all services, DSTD services. Visit the website to see your new pricing."
And there you go.
That's
Again,
it.
if you want to, you have there are options now. There are options. There's
Yeah,
streaming services
so
out
many
there.
options.
Yeah. So
And it costs less than how many percent?
right. And look, again, I don't want to use this platform to start saying I'm attacking a company, but just the business model. I mean, it's mostly sports for a lot of people, and then
News.
news. That's
Exactly. So let's check the categories. It's
Right.
either you bought it for sports or for news or for kids.
right.
Or really, maybe my parents watch these
Oh.
EWT and the
What's that?
religious
What's that?
channels,
The
Christian
religious?
channels.
What's that Indian one?
Oh yeah,
Z World. Hey.
Tigers and the likes.
Woo! It's caught my mom. She's gone, man. She's gone with it. But look, but yes. So if you can look at the streaming services and possibly get what your sports fix or your children's fix or other things
News
from there.
fix.
Yeah, there's more options now. But again, that company, they have put in a substantial investment in Africa.
Right.
They've put in they've put in the work. And if you're in their shoes, they will tell you that look, over time you have to implement this increase in cost. So I don't like mentioning their name on the show because then the text messages start flying and everybody's like, they don't have a right to do this and no.
Bunmi says,
Yeah.
when is he going to start and what's stopping him from starting now? That's talking about Governor Basiki. These mobile
Yes.
money agencies and firms are cutting staff now, and I'm surprised how it's affecting them.
Yeah, look, the thing is, you see, with the system, this thing is going to have to go through. You're talking when you say money in Nigeria, the central bank is going to be involved. They already started handing out the agency licenses and stuff, but they haven't actually made the final move. So this has to go through the CBN. I don't think Obaseki can do this thing just him and Edo State by itself. And I don't know. We'll see how it works, but. If you're working with telcos and you're going to start doing that, it's going to be a federal issue, which is, now that starts another conversation about whether or not states, this whole federal system we have where everything comes from the center, giving states the independence to do what they want, as long as they're not breaking rules, that conversation now takes off. So I don't know how successful he's going to be with this, but we shall see, we'll see.
Another message here from Henry Manuel says, every state internal revenue service has a department or director of informal sector. I worked with them for 3 years. They should tell people why those departments still exist and if they can't tax the informal sector. My experience, it's complicated. Perhaps I should write on it and forward to
Please, Henry Emmanuel, do that. Send it to me. It is hard. Again, I've told people, who is going to, for the akara seller, the vulcanizer, the barber on the side of the road, and these folks they're not fixated in one space. They can pack up and move. Who is going to do that work?
But somebody collects money from them.
Yes.
And then whenever they default, or even if they don't default, but you find some random people carrying trucks and going around in the name of environmental service or whatever, they go around and they pack up these guys and
right. I mean, but then they end up letting them go if they pay them a bribe or something. So, but you see, that's decentralized to the state local level. So is that one guy who is in one particular small market who is responsible for collecting from all those small people that So if you think about it, the government has to be very granular. They have to break it down to that level to be able to collect from all these folks. So.
Absolutely.
Tough stuff. Are we out of time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look, thank you everybody for your messages. Again, please, just to emphasize, the Opay news is not confirmed, but hey, it would be remiss of me to just ignore it. So just do take it with a grain of salt, and we'll just hopefully get confirmation from the company either today or over the weekend or by Monday. So
All right, let's continue the conversation on social media. Send messages to Rotus on Twitter at Rot and Quotes and engage him with that with hashtag Business Express 981. Stay tuned.
Some may say it's not possible to
thank you, sir.
Bless you, G.
Who's coming in today now for?
Nobody. They're calling me.
Oh, they're calling it.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Don't be rushed, man.